If was just released, and it is starring John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds, and it's written and directed by John Krasinski. And my biggest question, probably all of our biggest questions going into this, is can Ryan Reynolds even really make a PG movie? And I gotta say, there were a lot of redeeming things about this movie. Overall, I do think I was a bit underwhelmed. I think my expectations are a little bit too high just with John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds, who do so well so often that I was just a little bit underwhelmed. But starting off with everything I did like, I do think this movie was very creative, and I did like a lot of the imaginary friends. I thought those to me were my favorite part because I thought they were hilarious, they were creative, and they just added a lot of personality to this movie. Personally, I really liked the PI imaginary friend. I thought he was hilarious throughout the entire movie. The main actress, I think, did a pretty good job. And despite it being a PG rating, I definitely think this movie's aimed a lot more towards adults than it is kids. Sure, it has funny animations, funny cartoons. I don't know if I would call this a kids movie. It's definitely kid appropriate, but I don't think it's not like a Disney movie where like the audience is like made for the kids. I really think it was this one was targeted towards the parents here.
I would agree. I didn't know about this movie until Griff brought it up. Bless you. Till Griff brought it up, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And he started telling me about it. And I'm a big John Krasinski fan since
Hmm.
The Office days, and I love A Quiet Place 1 and 2. I think those are very good movies. So I was kind of curious because I saw the trailer when Griff sent it to me, and I was like, "This is kid oriented." And it's not that he couldn't do it. I just questioned how that was going to be a transition, from A Quiet Place to a family oriented movie. I didn't know if I was going to like this movie. Sometimes these kind of things are hit or miss. I did enjoy it. I was pleasantly surprised. Maybe my bar was set far lower than Griff's, so
I
that's
think
why I was
so.
able to enjoy it more. My daughter laughed. I laughed. I did like the imaginary friends. I did not have an imaginary friend growing up, and I don't want to sound pretentious like, oh, I had a lot of friends. I just didn't. Uh, but more so because I was more of a loner. But I did have a friend whom, yeah, I lost touch with because we were friends when we were in elementary school. His name was Jeffrey. So Jeffrey, if you're watching this, I still remember you, dude. He had an imaginary friend, and it was weird because when I first started hanging out with him, he would say stuff like "my brother Steve," and I just assumed he was talking about his big brother. And then, it's funny how I found out because his mom was like, "No, that's his imaginary friend." I'd never heard of an imaginary friend
Hmm.
up until that point. So watching this movie, it took me back to my old, little buddy Jeffrey, and my brother knows. So if my brother watches this, he's gonna be like, "Yep, I know exactly." But other than him, I'd never met anyone who had an imaginary friend, and I'm not dogging on it. I mean, if you had an imaginary friend, props to you because that just means your mind can expand that long. So that's cool. But I did like the lead actress, the young girl here. I thought she was funny. I there were some moments that made you kind of think perhaps a little too much. My daughter was like, because my daughter's only 8. Uh, but it does make you think. It's a family oriented movie. It's for kids, but there are bits and moments of the movie where it gets a little bit heavy, I would say.
Yeah.
The imaginary friends, if you will, they're funny. My daughter liked all of them. I don't know if she had a favorite. I have to ask her. She's in bed right now. But my wife liked it. The theater wasn't packed, but it had a big turnout for it being a Thursday night,
Yeah.
and people were laughing. People seemed to have a good time, and families were walking out of it, and you could see the little kids like still lit, still for it being uh this time. So I enjoyed it. I wasn't sure how I felt about Ryan Reynolds because everything I've seen him in, he's always dropping F-bombs. So I was kind of because I was like, it's not that I don't curse. You guys know I curse, but I tend to not do that around my kid. So I was wondering how he was going to handle that. He was still funny without, saying the F-bomb all the time. And of course, my wife and other women in the theater liked it because it's Ryan Reynolds, and all women like Ryan Reynolds. I thought he handled it well. I thought he carried the movie well, and I'm I'm happy because this shows that John Krasinski has a lot of range. He could
Yeah.
do suspense and horror, and he can do this kind of stuff. I'm wondering if he could just do like action, like an action thriller. You know how like Ben Affleck
He's
did,
acted in a lot of them.
um
Hasn't written them though.
he did Argo and then he did The Town. That's yeah, but I like his acting and I like his directing. So if you guys haven't seen this movie and you have time this weekend, go give it a shot. Take your kids.
Yeah, real quick, go down in the comments. Let us know if you enjoyed this movie. Let us know what you liked and didn't like. I'm gonna disagree a little bit with Edward. I do think Ryan Reynolds was funny, but I did find him a little bit underwhelming though, especially in comparison to his other roles. Like even Deadpool aside, just he I don't know if it was just the material or what it was. I just didn't find him as engaging as I usually do. And there definitely were some a lot of like emotional moments. I just I don't know. I didn't get too invested. I think there was a good plot to this movie, not a great story. As like there was some character development in like the first 20 minutes, but after that it was just going from event to event to event, which you knew what was gonna happen in the first 10 minutes. I just don't think it was written too well. I like the emotional aspects because even it got me tearing
I
up
don't
a
know
little
if that
bit.
has to do with the fact that you don't have. I'm curious, like any other people, like our audience that don't have kids, that do you feel the same way as script? Because if so, then maybe it's just I
Well, it's
think
just
that
like
is
I definitely think so. Like I'm you and I look at the movies very different. You're looking to see, as even you just mentioned, kids are walking out of the theater enjoying it. I I if I notice it, great, but it's not something I look for. I looked a lot more critically at this movie. I
yeah.
just it's
I
just
think
what
your
I
bar
tend
was
to do.
set higher than mine because my
Yeah.
when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is gonna be a shit fest.
I really did think I was gonna enjoy this movie more, and I really did want to. It's just,
I remember you saying that.
yeah, it's just I guess when it comes to
Because even
plot
you told
versus,
me when you sent the trailer, you're like, I really think your kid's gonna enjoy this movie. And you're
yeah,
right, she did.
I was looking forward to it because it looked like my sort of movie. I like John Krasinski, like Ryan Reynolds. It's
Yeah.
just what lost me was plot versus story. Had a lot of plot, didn't have much story to it. It was creative. It's just it wasn't super engaging for me. And as Edward said, I don't have my kid or any kid there to help get me through it. I was there for me and me alone.
I did see this couple that was there probably on a date. I don't know if they're married or whatever.
Hmm.
They weren't, they were together. And when the movie ended, they had a look on their face like they just wanted to get the hell out of there. So it could be that.
Yeah,
Because everyone else, they were like the only two people there without kids.
yeah,
So it could have been that because everyone else, uh, and again, it's Thursday night, so most people are like, yeah, I got to work tomorrow. Kids
it's
got to go
true.
to school tomorrow. So, they they were in a rush, but no, they seem to have been enjoying it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
let us know in the comment section how you feel. Like if this is your kind of thing, or do you
yeah.
feel like maybe you have to be with the kid, nephew, niece, or child of your own to enjoy it? Or did you watch it and you don't have kids and you do like it?
Yeah, please let us know. I did think it was okay. I don't think it's a bad film by any means. It's a learning curve, as is with most things. I
Yeah.
mean, John Krasinski, most of his films have been action, thriller, and a bit of comedy sprinkled throughout. Going to a kids'
Who
movie, as
knew Jim
Edward
from The
said.
Office had it in him?
Yeah, right? So, like,
Remember season one of The Office? If you look
ugh,
at
shoot, that's hard to
Jim,
watch.
you'd never guess that like he'd be here like doing this stuff. But yeah, it just goes to show that the
Yeah.
guy's got he's a very talented dude.
And they have a star-studded cast. They have such a great cast. A lot
They
of
do.
cameos playing the imaginary friends, which I did personally enjoy. I like seeing cameos, like recognizing the voices. I mean, we got Matt Damon, and if you've seen the trailer, there's this invisible imaginary friend who's played by Brad Pitt, which I thought was
That
hilarious
is
in the
hilarious.
credits. For some reason, he's in every Ryan Reynolds movie, and his last role in a Ryan Reynolds movie was also playing an invisible character in Deadpool 2. So, I mean, it was just top notch. I thought that was hilarious, a good Easter
I
egg in the
wonder if
credits.
he's going to be in
Deadpool
Deadpool
3.
3. Yeah.
It wouldn't
He
surprise
was
me.
supposed to sidetrack. He was supposed to be Cable. That's who the director wanted. They ended up with Josh Brolin, which I love
Much
Josh
better
Brolin as
choice.
Cable. Yeah. But you're right. I hadn't clocked that up until now. He's in a lot of Ryan Reynolds movies. I
Yeah, they're
guess they
friends. I mean,
just
it
get
works.
they get along really well. So awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this movie, we think you would like Wish right up here. It's a great movie for your kids to enjoy as well as you parents and adults. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, guys.